La, 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 a little bit Alexis. Hide your diamonds, hide your exes. I'm a little bit Alexis. Hi, welcome to Missologist. I am so excited about today because it is our Schitt's Creek special. So, what that means is that I am making a drink in celebration of the main characters from Schitt's Creek, drinks that represent their personality, their characters. I'm also having some fun and dressing up like some of the characters. So yeah, if you hadn't figured it out already, the first drink I'm making is based on Moira, and hence my lovely wig. This drink I made up myself, and it's called a Moira Rose Martini. So sadly it's not Herb Ertlinger wine, fruit wine, but it is a Moira Rose Martini, excuse me. And I think Moira would be very happy with this martini because it's very classy, but delicious. You know, it's pretty much all the... It's also a little dramatic. I think it just really embodies Moira. I mean, who doesn't love Moira, right? Moira is the kick. She's hilarious. She's that accent. I don't even know. I definitely can't imitate that accent, but that's okay. Catherine O'Hara just does it so well. But also, I don't know how she wore those wigs all the time. Wigs are itchy. But anyway, let's get into the drink, I suppose, huh? Okay, so for this drink, you will need... No, sorry, just making sure my shaker was clean. You will need vodka, approximately 1.5 ounces of vodka. Although actually, I think I look pretty good with this color hair. Maybe I'll visit the hairdresser soon. See about changing up my hair. All right, 1.5 shots of vodka. No, I think actually having this color hair would require a whole lot of uptake and maintenance, because I'm sure it would wash out very, very easily. And so maybe, not... I'm kind of lazy when it comes to my hair, as pretty much every hairdresser who's ever met me will attest. I just don't care. So, having a hairstyle that requires a whole lot of maintenance might not be the best thing for me. Okay. Now I'm putting in 1/2 ounce of Chambord. Chambord is a raspberry liqueur, black raspberry. It's from France. It's delicious. The bottle's a little hard to handle, but totally worth it. And every time I open it, I forget that this shiny piece on top is not separate. So that's why I was having trouble opening it. Okay. Okay, so 0.5 ounces of Chambord. Also, I highly recommend using Chambord in your, oh my god, my brain, sorry, in your Clover Clubs. Whoa, if you, almost dropped that. If you make Clover Clubs with gin and lemon juice, whatever, Chambord is really excellent. It's sort of a substitution for the raspberry syrup in that, and it's really, really yummy. So, oh wow, I'm shedding hair even with a wig on. Okay, anyway, the next ingredient is lemon juice. So I'm gonna cut myself a nice lemon. And I'm using this today just because I just wanted something fast and easy. So I'm just going to squeeze that in there. Yeah, and these lemons are pretty squishy, so it's really not that hard to do today. Okay, so we got our lemon juice. Now we need a 1/4 ounce of grenadine. I'm using Lieber & Co., which I've been using, you know, pretty much the whole time I've had the show, and very, very good grenadine. So yeah, 1/2 ounce of that. Sorry, 1/4 ounce of that. And then a 1/4 ounce of rose syrup. So originally when I formulated this recipe, I added the grenadine and the Chambord because I am not a fan of rose syrup, and I was concerned that I wouldn't like this drink because it would have too much. I'm on a roll today. Anyway, because I was worried it would have too much rose taste to it, and I was not really, you know, excited about that because I'm just not a fan of rose flavor in general. But it turns out that if you have the other stuff in there, you know, the Chambord, the grenadine, it just gets rid of or it doesn't get rid of, but it balances it out so that the rose flavor doesn't take over. Yeah, I told you, it's just not my day. Okay, hold on. All right, got it. Okay, so let's put like 3 ice cubes in here. And then seal this back up again. And let's shake this up. I'm trying to think what my favorite Moira Rose moment is in Schitt's Creek. And I realize there's just so many that it's kind of hard to come up with like one that's my favorite. But obviously the fruit wine episode is hilarious.
Oh, next step is to fold in the cheese.
What does that mean? What does fold in the cheese mean?
He folds it in.
I understand that, but how do you fold it? Do you fold it in half like a piece of paper and drop it in the pot, or what do you do?
David, I cannot show you everything.
Okay, well, can you show me one thing?
Shake so hard my wig comes off. Okay, but I think if I have to really pick one, I think my favorite Moira Rose moment in the entire series is after she gets back from shooting her Crow movie, The Crows Have Eyes 2, The Crowing. Yeah, The Crows Have Eyes 2? Have Eyes 3? I don't know. Anyway, it's been a long week. After she gets back, and she's been traveling for like 18 hours or something, and she goes out to breakfast with everybody, and she falls asleep at the table, and she wakes up, doesn't wake up, sorry, she's having a dream, and in the middle of the dream, she goes, "Caca!" and then falls back asleep. Well, mutters something in Croatian or something, and then falls back asleep. I don't think I've ever laughed that hard. Oh, it's so funny. And there's another episode where she and David get really, really drunk while they're tasting wine again, and she said something. I'll have to remember what it was. She said something to when Johnny came to and Patrick came to pick them up. That was just so funny. Crap. I don't know. I'll look it up because it was really, really entertaining. But anyway, this is the Moira Rose Martini. So, yeah, it's just really good. It's very balanced. It's sweet because you've got the grenadine and the Chambord giving it a bit of sweetness. You can kind of taste the rose syrup, but not too much. The vodka really obviously doesn't do much, but it's just a very nice cocktail, but it's also multi-layered and complex, kind of like Moira. You know, I think Moira starts out in this series so stereotypical Hollywood, you know, obsessed with herself and I'm not saying she loses those traits as the show goes on. If anything, she's always Moira, but you start to see aspects of her come out that are really nice, yeah. And made me cry, actually, when she goes to Alaska's, God, sorry, my brain is just off today. Okay, when she goes to Alexis's high school graduation, and, you know, Alexis isn't expecting her, and she shows up, and she sings, "Baby, I'm yours." I burst into tears. And I've watched the show all the way through at least 3 times. Every time I watch that episode, I cry like a little baby. There's one other episode that does that to me, and I will tell you about it later when I get to that character. I actually stayed out of the room this time in an effort to not cry because I knew I was going to and I didn't want to, because I'm not a super I cry over everything person. I am not like that. So the fact that this episode makes me sob so hard was actually very hard for me to deal with. So anyway, I didn't want to be in the room when it happened, so I was trying to distract myself by making myself dinner. All I could, I could listen to it, but I wasn't watching it, but I could hear the entire scene. Next thing I know, I'm standing there shredding cheese and I'm just dripping tears. And I was like, God damn it. And I do remember when people saw this particular episode that I'm referring to, I don't think they were expecting to cry either, but I remember a lot of people sending out tweets the next morning to Daniel Levy being like, God damn it, I wasn't, expecting to cry this morning while watching Schitt's Creek, thanks. And I did see a behind the scenes thing, and everybody was crying during that episode. All the crew, Eugene Levy was crying, just like everybody was losing it. So that made me feel better, but it's still kind of annoying that even now I can't watch that episode without just losing my mind. But again, I'll tell you more about that later when I get to that character who will be up in about, let's see, one more character, and then that character. So you will learn about that episode and all of my thoughts on Schitt's Creek, and I just love that show so much. When they were touring, I went to their special tour, which was just fabulous. I have their book. I mean, who doesn't love that show, really? I know I say this often, but if you haven't seen that show, you should definitely go watch it. I think a lot of people have seen it, obviously, by now, but I've also met a lot of people who are like, oh, I tried to watch it the first season and I couldn't get into it, so I stopped. So here's what I'm going to say, and this may be an unpopular opinion, I'm not actually sure. Let me put this down for a second. I think you have to get through the first season, and then once you do, and you get to the second season, you are in love with the show, but you have to get there. And I will say the first season, it's hard because you're like, why should I care about these people? They're all brats. They're all rich, who cares if these rich people lost all their stuff? It throws a lot at you, right, in the first season, and especially in the first episode. But I think the problem is you're not emotionally invested yet. You haven't seen the other sides of them yet in the first season. And so you have to get to the second season. And I think by the time I got to the first episode of the second season, I was hooked. Really, it was probably the last episode of the first season for me, which may have done it when they're all dancing. But I think David leaving and them finding him on the Amish farm, and, him saying, I had to spend the night in a flatbed truck, and Alexis being like, well, who hasn't, David? That kind of stuff. I was with them at that point. Like I loved it, and it just got better and better and better as it went. I rewatched the first season because I didn't think it was funny the first time I'm ashamed to say that, but the very first time I tried to watch Schitt's Creek way back when, I didn't think it was funny. And this happens to me sometimes, but I wasn't amused. When I watched it, the second time, tried it again, I was like, this is awesome, but I still wasn't totally hooked in until the second season. And obviously this third time, I loved it, and the first season was hilarious. So even if you have seen it, I highly recommend going back and watching it again, watching the first season again, because you'll have a whole new appreciation for it. You'll probably laugh way more than you did before. But it's also fun to go back and see them as they started out, before. We all know how it ends, right? But it's fun to see how they are originally. And you really appreciate their changes and their metamorphoses more if you go back. Anyway, enough of me ranting about Schitt's Creek. I think the Moira Rose Martini is excellent. I think anyone would enjoy this, but probably it's more of a so-called feminine drink because it is a bit on the sweeter side, right? But that's nothing wrong with guys liking that. I'm just saying that stereotypically, women tend to like the sweeter drinks. But I think it's really well balanced. It's really deep and has a lot of layers to it. Pretty easy to make. Ingredients are pretty easy to find. You should be able to find them at any liquor store you go to. Yeah, I'm really quite a fan of this drink that I created. Maybe not as much as that one I created for the curse, the silver bullet, but it's pretty good. So, okay, moving on to the next character.
Of a picturesque ridge lies a small, unpretentious winery, one that pampers its fruit like its own babies. Hi, I'm Moira Rose, and if you love fruit wine as much as I do, then you'll appreciate the craftsmanship and quality of a local vintner who brings the muskmelon goodness to his oak Chardonnay and the dazzling peach crab apple to his Riesling Rioja. Come taste the difference good fruit can make in your wine. You'll remember the experience, and you'll remember the name, Herb Ervlinger, Bert Hermgeif, Irv Hermlinger, Bing Livehanger, Liveling, Bert Herkern, Bert.
Okay, so, oh, I guess my hair's still back, but, so our next character is David, in case you couldn't tell. These might fall off at any minute. By the way, I have very abnormally small fingers, so I have no idea if these will actually stay on, but, we'll see. But they probably are just gonna fall off, but I thought it was kind of fun. And I'm wearing a sweater, obviously. Not as cool as actual David sweater, but, can't all be David, right? Yeah, this ring's about to fall off, but that's okay. Okay, so David's drink is something that he drank in one of the episodes. He was out with Stevie and they were drinking and doing karaoke. And David had a lot of shots, right? And he kept going up and singing various Mariah Carey songs because Mariah Carey is like his favorite person, right? So he kept going up and just getting more of these shots, and they are called polar bear shots. I've never had this before, but it sounded pretty good. It's just half peppermint schnapps, half white chocolate liqueur. You could also you know, put vodka in it, but honestly, I don't need to because I'm going to be having a lot of drinks and I don't really want to have more vodka than I have to. Not that I don't like vodka, but I just think I'm good. Anyway, so I obviously renamed these the Ew David Polar Bear Shot because, you know, why wouldn't I? But we're gonna try this out. So I have my little shot glass here. Actually, let me move this out of the way. I'm sorry. I always leave things in the way, guys. All right. We're gonna put some peppermint schnapps in there. And then hopefully I didn't pour too much. It's a little hard to tell with this shot glass, but I think we're okay. And now I'm going to put some white chocolate liqueur in it. Also, I'm highly debating just wearing that wig for all my episodes from now on. Even though it's a bit itchy, it's really cool. And it was only like $7 on Amazon. Okay, so I really can't tell, you know, if I did that right or whatever. It looks a bit weird right now, but maybe I'll stir it a bit. I don't know. But apparently this is a polar bear shot. Okay, I guess it mixed up. All right, so let's try this Ew David Polar Bear Shot. Okay, I get it now. I understand why he was drinking so many of these in the show. I don't know if Dan Levy was actually drinking them, probably not, but they are really, really good. You get hit with that peppermint from the schnapps, and then you have the chocolate, which is balancing out the peppermint, and it's creamy, and it's delicious, and yeah, I would totally, you know, down these. These are very good. Yeah, that was delicious. Good call, David. Yeah, these are, I don't know how he wore these so many rings in every episode, because it's weird to have that many rings on. Maybe if they fit better, it's not as bad, but obviously for me, it's like, you know, they were basically just falling off anyway. So, but anyway, David. What can I say about David?
Came with a bike.
I think you should put it on. Like, I think you should actually like put the helmet on.
And I will one day when we take this little pony for a joyride.
Actually, I brought my bike so we can test it out. Thought maybe we could take a little ride to the cafe.
So fun.
See ya.
David's interesting because David starts out wanting to get out of Schitt's. I mean, they all want to get out, right? But I feel like he's the one who actually ends up becoming most a part of the community. You could make arguments against that. You could say, well, you know, Moira is on the city council. You know, Alexis starts a business there and is with Ted and all. But I think David is the one who ends up, because he ends up staying there too. And I think he's the one who really gets most sucked into Schitt's Creek, and which I think is kind of appropriate since it's Dan's show, I think, and he really wanted to have it be that nobody in the town ever mentioned that David was gay or anything, or well, not gay, but bi or whatever. Sorry, pansexual. Nobody made a big deal out of that, which was really cool. But I think the reason why David is the one who ends up there is because he's the one who didn't really have a place before. He had an art gallery in New York, but you know, we find out that his parents were basically funding it, buying art. He didn't really have a business necessarily, didn't really have any friends. Like, none of his friends show up for him when he's in trouble. And I think what that says is just that he's the one who needed Schitt's Creek the most. He needed a community. And so I do, again, think it's super appropriate that he's the one who ends up staying there. So, yeah. And obviously David's awesome, and Patrick's awesome, and, you know, David is, yeah. Anyway, so the next character I am going to get ready for, and, yeah, see you soon.
Okay, David, well, I'm gonna go to dinner. And if you wanted to join me and pay for it, that could be a start.
Yeah, maybe I could do that. I just think I have something to do first. So
What is this?
consider this my olive branch.
All right, so as you may have guessed, it's now time for Alexis's drink. I even have her necklace. I have a dress just like hers that she wore during a little bit of Alexis. I have a headband. So I think, you know, we're doing pretty well Alexis-wise. Okay, so for Alexis's drink, I decided to make Love That Gin for You, which is essentially a gin Collins, because I do think that Alexis's taste would be more simple. I don't get the impression she's very into like frilly girly drinks. I get the impression she's more just into refreshing, effervescent, like type of drinks. And this one is, you know, gin and lemon juice and sparkling water and simple syrup, and that's it. And I think that really fits with Alexis. So, so what we need is 2 ounces of gin, and I have Broker's gin. I feel like this headband's gonna fall off at any moment. Hopefully I'm wrong about that. Okay, we need half an ounce of simple syrup. So I have some simple syrup right here. We need lemon juice. So I will squeeze some lemon juice into here. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna shake it in the shaker. Uh-oh, I may not have sealed that properly, but hopefully it's pretty cold. Okay, so we're gonna shake this in the shaker. And then hopefully I can actually seal this. Yeah. Okay. So.
Bed.
Why?
Because I need it.
Why?
Because if someone were to break in here in the middle of the night wanting to murder us, they would attack this bed first. So I need this bed.
So you're saying that you want me to get murdered first? In front of you? And then what would you do? Would you just run away and leave me to bleed out on the floor?
Sort of. That was the...
Okay. And then we're gonna just pour it in a normal glass, no big deal. Obviously my favorite thing ever, a jar, so I'm gonna put it in a jar. So we're gonna put this in a jar. I guess I should have said that more Alexis-y. I love that gin for you. Okay, anyway, so we're putting that in here. And then we're gonna top it with some soda water. And we'll have our gin Collins, but Alexis style. I mean, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. You can top it with as much soda water as you want. You know, you can put ice in there. I'm not, because I never do. I just like to have things like this. But anyway, this is Love That Gin for You. And this is Alexis's drink. Mhm. Very nice. Very, simple, but refreshing. What can I say about Alexis? She's Alexis. She's a little bit Alexis. She's, I don't know. She's probably a lot of people's favorite character. Definitely, I don't know if I have a favorite character, to be honest. I think I love them all so much. It's hard for me to choose just one. Alexis is hilarious. But she's also got a huge heart, which comes out, during the series. She's very independent, and she starts her own business. She learns that her friends aren't, what they're cracked up to be, and she I think out of all the characters, she's the one who grows the most. I think that's what I would say about Alexis. Like, everybody else obviously changes during the show. I think Alexis makes the most, has the biggest journey, so to speak. She grows so much. And I was talking earlier about the episode that makes me cry every time I see it, and I said, I'll tell you about that later when I get to that character. Well, now I'm there, so I can tell you which episode that is. It is the episode where Alexis and Ted break up in the 6th season. Again, have seen it 3 times, but I was out of the room and I heard it and I started crying. That's how powerful it is. And I think, honestly, that was the right thing to do with the show, but I do know that it really did get to a lot of people emotionally, even the crew. Eugene Levy was sobbing. Everybody was sobbing during that particular episode, which just shows you how well these characters were written, how well that scene was written. But honestly, I think just so many good things came out of Alexis's character, including the song A Little Bit Alexis. That's probably one of my favorite songs. I use lines from it all the time when I play trivia. And she's got her hands, and she's just very unique, and she's Alexis. So anyway, this is her drink. Again, love that gin for you. And, it's just a gin Collins, so it's not that complicated, but it's just very refreshing. So I highly recommend you try one of those. Okay, we're moving on to the next character. Okay, we are on to Stevie. And I did read an interview with Emily Hampshire, and she was saying that she thinks that if Stevie Budd, she basically gave you the cocktail orders she thought everyone would get. I'm not sure I agreed with all of them, but she's not a mixologist or a bartender, so she was clearly going off of what she knows, not necessarily what maybe each character would actually get. But I thought that what she said for Stevie was kind of where I was headed anyway. She said that Stevie would probably just want a Long Island iced tea. Now, originally I was going to make an AMF for Stevie, but I do agree with Emily Hampshire that Long Island iced tea is probably more likely for Stevie. So that's what we're making. So a Long Island iced tea is, do I have enough vodka left? Might need more vodka. It's 3/4 of an ounce of vodka. And this is all done in glass, so you don't have to. Let's hope I have enough vodka though. Oh yeah, like 3/4 exactly. All right, that worked out. Okay, 3/4 an ounce of vodka. 3/4 an ounce of gin. Okay. Okay, 3/4 of an ounce of tequila. But I am using Espolon tequila for that part. Let's see. Okay. Okay. 3/4 ounce of rum. And I believe, what is that for? Oh yeah, okay, I also need that, yeah. Sorry, just forgot something. Okay. 3/4 ounce of rum, 3/4 ounce of triple sec, but I will be using dry curacao because I don't have the triple sec, so, okay. This is actually interesting for me because I didn't exactly know what was in a Long Island iced tea, so I learned something every day. Okay, so 3/4 ounce of this. Then 3/4 ounce of simple syrup. And I also didn't know there was simple syrup in a Long Island iced tea, so simple syrup. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. About 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. So I'm gonna cut my lemon and hope I can squeeze it well enough in here. Oh Lord, it may not even fit in here. All right, never mind. I'm using my other juicer thingy because it doesn't fit on that one. So, which is fine. Okay, so we're gonna do it in here. Oh Lord, and get it all over ourselves because I cut off the end for the other thing, but that's okay. All right. So, yep. Gross. Okay. I'm gonna wash my hands. Hold on. Okay. 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. I'm trying not to get any seeds in here, but I might, despite my best efforts. Okay, and then we have to top it with some Coke. I have Blue Sky soda, cane sugar cola. Should basically be the same difference. Normally you'd have ice in here, so, you know, I'm not really sure if it's as full as it would be normally, but that's okay. I'm gonna give it a stir too, and I'm gonna dig out, or try to dig out that lemon seed while I can. No, come here, lemon seed, come. All right, got the lemon seed. Okay. So this is a Stevie Buds iced tea. Essentially a Long Island iced tea. Okay. Tastes like a Long Island iced tea. Okay. Not bad or anything, but I mean, Long Island iced tea is basically booze with some Coke and lemon juice. So, and simple syrup. But why you would need that with the Coke, I have no idea, but whatever. I just follow instructions. But yeah, I could see Stevie drinking this. So what can I say about, sorry, I'm eating here. What can I say about Stevie?
Has Paul Bunyan finished his box? Will you be needing your basic toolbox or your cedar chest toolbox? What about this?
Well, that's not an option. No.
But I have my sister's communion this weekend.
Okay, don't do that.
Don't do what? Do you not like it? Good recommendation, sir. This is also gonna be a smash at my husband's trial hearing. Or else this or the internet. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Stevie is really cool because she's so antisocial and so, you know, not into, I don't know how to explain it, but you can tell she's kind of a loner. She's not really attached to anyone when the show starts. She is just working at this motel. She's obviously miserable. Feels like she could be doing something else, but never thinks that she'll leave Schitt's Creek. And then the Rose family comes into her life, and she becomes best friends with David. You know, she and Alexis become friends. She becomes John's business partner. Moira casts her as the lead in Cabaret. Her whole life and who she thought she could be changes because of the Roses. And that's really cool to watch. You know, obviously they leave it sort of open-ended at the end, so you don't know if what she's gonna do. I kind of assume since they raised the money they need to buy a bunch of hotels, that's what she's gonna do. She's gonna keep being Mr. Rose's business partner and acquire a bunch of hotels and become this really rich, powerful woman. But, you know, they leave it open-ended, and I think that's really cool because it kind of leaves Stevie's future unwritten, if you will. Excuse me, I dropped my napkin. But I like Stevie a lot. I think she's very authentic. She's very funny. She's very unpretentious. Because she has no reason to be, really, but she's smart. She's very, very smart. You pick that up right away, that Stevie Bud is quietly smart. You know, and she and David are total opposites, but they become best friends. So I think that's really cool. Anyway, so this is Stevie's drink again. It's the Stevie Bud's iced tea, basically a Long Island iced tea. It's good, but boozy. So if you're not looking for something super booze forward, you probably wouldn't like a Long Island iced tea. If you're open to that kind of thing, go ahead, make yourself one, try it. I think I like drinks that have more depth to them, a little more layers in terms of the flavoring. I don't really enjoy drinks that are just like, bleh, you know, pure, a bunch of different alcohols, frat boy drinks. Yeah, this is essentially a frat boy drink. A little less so than an AMF, but it's essentially the same idea. So anyway, that's Stevie's drink. We are moving on to the next character. We only have 2 left. How is that possible? But we only have 2 characters left. And the next one, we don't need a shaker, so that's cool. And I might just leave this shirt on, to be honest, because it's comfortable. Okay, and then so I'll be right back. We're on to the next character in the next drink. If you couldn't tell, this one is Jonathan or John Rose, Eugene Levy. So got the eyebrows, rocking the eyebrows. Didn't bother to change my shirt because Stevie's got it right. This is a very comfortable style. Okay, so according to the interview I read with Emily Hampshire, she thinks that John is sort of a classic type, which I very much agree with. She said, oh, I think he would drink a mule. Now, I'm not sure if I agree with that necessarily. I think when I think classic type, I think old-fashioned or something like that, a sour, maybe a whiskey sour. But, you know, I thought, let's just do what Emily Hampshire says. Let's make a mule for John Rose because I like mules and they're pretty easy to make. And it allows me to take these eyebrows off sooner because, honestly, I'm a little afraid of how much that's gonna hurt. So we're going to make John a mule. You don't need to squeeze this. You don't need to shake this one. So you have to shake the next one, but not this one. So I'm just gonna do the lime juice now preemptively because I'm gonna do a Moscow Mule for John. And a Moscow Mule is just lime juice, ginger beer, and vodka. And I also kind of felt like Moscow Mule is the most appropriate because the Roses are Jewish. And, you know, I think that Moscow, you know, obviously was home to many, many Jews. So Russia in general. So I'm going to make a Moscow Mule. So I'm going to squeeze some lime juice. I'm mostly going to need it for the next drink anyway, so. Okay. And I am out of vodka, so hang on one sec. You have vodka? Oh, yeah. Ow. Okay, I'm gonna use this Taka quadruple distilled vodka. Alright, so we've got this Taka vodka because I ran out of the other vodka, which was good. Dregs vodka. It was just this brand I found that gave like all the proceeds to charity or something. So, okay, so we're gonna do this. So it's 2 ounces of vodka. Okay, about 1 ounce of lime juice. Oh, which is pretty much what I had exactly. And then normally you'd put some ice in there, you don't have to, and normally you would probably serve this in a copper mug, but again, you also don't have to. Again, I don't believe in rules. But I did forget to get the ginger beer, so. Okay, so we're using Fever Tree ginger beer. Okay, and so now I'm gonna just top this with ginger beer. And you know, you put about 6 ounces, but I generally use the whole bottle because it's only like 6.8 ounces, so no big deal. You don't even have to stir it, you just drink it. That's how easy Moscow Mule is. So, sorry, the ginger always makes me cough, always. The ginger beer. Because the bubbles kind of go down your throat, so. I'm fine. It just contributes to old man with big eyebrows thing. Okay. It tastes like a Moscow Mule. Success. So anyway, that's a Moscow Mule. Oh, you know, I did have a new name for this because of the Eugene Levy. I actually was calling it, don't worry, it's his sister's cocktail. So that's its new name for this video. Don't worry, it's his sister's cocktail. But again, it's just a Moscow Mule.
Lost touch as a family. And if we're going to get through this ordeal together, we have got to get reacquainted. Now, back at Rose Video, we had management retreats where we would play fun team building.
You also had company-wide spa days. Why don't we try that?
And one of the icebreakers at these retreats was a game that was always a hit. And it was a game where somebody would tell a lie about themselves, and then a truth, and then another lie, and everybody would have to guess which one was the lie.
No, Johnny, they had to guess which one was the truth.
Which one was the lie?
It's just one lie.
What did I say?
You said 2 lies.
Well, it is 2 lies.
No.
No, the game is 2 truths and a lie.
It's true.
That's
So
the
you've
game.
heard of it. You've heard of it.
Yeah, because babies play that at their birthday parties.
Okay, whatever. It's a good game.
babies play it
Okay?
at
Now,
their birthday.
here's how it goes. I'll give you an example.
Why don't I start? I'm miserable, drunk and hate this game. So here's a hint. Sadly, I'm not drunk.
Okay, wrong attitude. That's the wrong right
Okay,
off the top.
my turn. Okay. My eyes are brown. I am basically sample size. And one time I escaped from a Thai drug lord's car trunk by bribing him with sex.
Right idea, honey, but you know what? It's got to be more challenging for everybody in the
Eyes are
room.
aqua.
You did what?
I'm kidding. I clearly would never bribe anybody with sex.
When were you in Thailand?
I told you that I was on spring break. Everyone can just calm down because Arun was a lovely gentleman until he ran out of money.
How many people do you know that are currently in the prison system? Is it like...
I'm pretty sure
12?
just 2.
All right, that's enough. Good game. Good game, everybody. Alexis, you're grounded.
No, that was 10 years ago when everybody does dumb stuff in high school.
You were 17? Did you know this?
Okay, we are on to our last character. I actually don't have any props for this character because I couldn't figure out what kind of prop she would have, to be honest. But I'm gonna take, ow. Oh, that didn't hurt as much as I thought. But taking those off because she does not have giant eyebrows. Despite being related to Eugene Levy and Daniel Levy, she looks nothing like them. And you may have guessed who this character is. The final character is Twyla.
Had a really great trick. He used to say 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot on the pedal, and to get the hell out of here.
I was gonna do a drink for Roland, but I decided not to because honestly, I think that you could go crazy. There's so many characters on that show. You could really go crazy with how many cocktails you make for all of them. And although I feel like Roland is a very important part of the show, Twyla is funny and very memorable to me, especially because of all the things she tells the roses all the time. Like, you know, when she tells David how to ride a bike, or sorry, Alexis how to ride a bike, like 1 foot on the ground, 1 on the pedal, and get the hell out of here. That's what my stepfather or my mom's boyfriend used to say to me. Or like, oh, I know some Spanish.
But he is learning Spanish. No más le duele. I think it means stop, it hurts.
Oh, what is it? No, something duele. No, please don't, it hurts or something. I learned that from my uncle in jail. Whatever, she's always saying really funny stuff, you know, and it's sad stuff, but it's also hilarious. And so I think that makes Twyla one of my favorite characters. And also the fact that you then find out that she's a multimillionaire, having won the lottery. I think that's really cute. And she ends up, you know, buying the cafe. And so in honor of Twyla, I will be making Twyla's Tropical Daiquiri. Again, hold on one sec. I chose this because, you know, she works at the Cafe Tropical and a daiquiri seemed really appropriate for that. I was originally going to make a smoothie, a mystery smoothie, but I didn't want to. So I'm doing Twyla's Tropical Daiquiri. I've got to wash my mixer out though, or my shaker out. So hold on one sec. So for her daiquiri, I decided to use flavor because to make it a little more interesting. So I am using Barmelade, passion fruit lemongrass, which seems appropriately tropical for Twyla's daiquiri. So, okay. So we might as well start with the Barmelade. So I'm going to put an ounce of that in, or more because I always make a mess, but an ounce of the passion fruit lemongrass Barmelade. Come on. 2 ounces of rum. 2 ounces of Bacardi rum. Although you can use whatever rum you have. I have Bacardi, so I'm using that. I didn't really talk about John, did I? John is obviously amazing too. Eugene Levy's amazing in everything, I guess, is what I meant to say. But John is the straight man amongst all the chaos that is Schitt's Creek. And I remember Eugene Levy talking about that, how he never plays the straight man, right? In all the Christopher Guest movies, he was always the one who had kind of a weird personality. You know, he was Mitch and Mickey. He wandered off by himself and mumbled and whatever. He was half of the Terrier family in Best in Show. He's never really the straight man. So this apparently was a little odd for him because he was suddenly the straight man and everybody else was kind of strange. So, okay, anyway. But I meant to say that during John's cocktail, but I got distracted by the eyebrows. So, okay, so we're gonna do about an ounce of lime juice. But yeah, I love Twyla. I think Sarah Levy is really good as Twyla. I think it's awesome that they put her on the show and didn't make her related to them, but made her a waitress. But that worked, because who else could be Alexis, really? Apparently Stevie did try out to be Alexis, but she had a nervous breakdown / panic attack during the audition, and they thought that she would be better as Stevie. So, and again, I think all the casting choices were perfect. Okay, so Twyla's daiquiri needs to be shaken. So I'm gonna shake it. And yeah. Forgot to get a glass for that or a thing. Oh, but I have my jar. So we're gonna use my jar because I love my jar. Okay. Daiquiris would normally go in like a coupe glass or whatever, but it's not a big deal. Okay. So this is Twyla's Tropical Daiquiri. It's kind of a weird orange color, and that's because of the marmalade and the lime juice mixing together. But I'm sure it tastes more delicious than it looks. But here's what you got from that, kind of this weird muddy orange color. Yeah, it's good. I chose the passion fruit lemongrass marmalade because Twyla tends to put weird shit together, and I thought this seemed appropriate, like kind of a weird flavor combination, not, normal for a tropical drink, not like pineapple or mango or something, but like passion fruit lemongrass. But it's actually very nice. It tastes really good. It's a good combination. So, yeah. Overall, I do like it. Anyway, this has been a very shitty special. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was really fun for me to film this and, wear all the different costumes, talk about all the different characters, talk about Schitt's Creek in general. Again, if you haven't seen Schitt's Creek, go watch it. You'll love it. If you've seen it, go watch it again. Just support them because they're amazing. I don't know what else I can say about Schitt's Creek, but David. So, cheers